Looking to upgrade your starter or medium ship to a large class vessel, whether you're a trader, explorer, or combat-focused hauler. Today we're diving into 3 ships that strike the perfect balance between functionality and affordability: the RSI Constellation Taurus, the Drake Corsair, and the MISC Starlancer Max. This is part 3 of the ongoing guide to the most versatile ships in the verse. Each of these ships brings something unique, whether you're hauling massive cargo, venturing into deep space, or running high-risk bounty missions alone or with a crew. There's an option for you. Let's break them down and see which one fits your playstyle. First up is the RSI Constellation Taurus, the heavy hauler with a bite. The Connie Taurus is a durable cargo hauler with strong defenses, perfect for traders looking for security without sacrificing cargo space. Don't let me understate it, the Constellation Taurus is the bulk hauler of the Constellation series, stripping out the Andromeda's snub fighter in favor of more cargo capacity while retaining solid defenses. But it does, however, lose its second turret in favor of a tractor beam turret that you can use doing cargo runs. This ship is best suited for traders, solo haulers, and org members running bulk shipments who want security and combat capabilities on the side that a dedicated freighter like the Hull series can't provide. The Taurus includes 174 SU of cargo, excellent for medium hauling and trading. It also includes a hidden smuggling hold. It includes shielded cargo for illicit and risky cargo runs. However, this is currently waiting on future implementation, and it's not currently in the game. The ship can also hold pretty much anything under an Ursa rover. A popular option currently is the Ursa medevac. This will fit in the cargo hold and effectively give the ship a medical bay it would otherwise lack. And of course, it still fits a rock miner, so you'll have the option to mine using that. The Taurus includes 4 times size 5 pilot-controlled weapons, making the ship soloable. This is the best armament available to solo players in the game, practically on par with the Corsair prior to its nerf. It also includes an upper man turret with dual size 3s for added defense, and a lower man tractor beam turret, as mentioned previously, enhancing cargo handling and salvage operation. It also includes 24 times size 2 missiles. It's a strong deterrent and gives you the option to dump a large amount of damage into an enemy as necessary. The ship does, however, have some drawbacks. The ship is weaker than the Connie Andromeda in combat, as it does lose a turret as well as the snub fighter. The ship is also less maneuverable than the Starlancer Max we'll cover later in this video. However, its maneuverability practically matches the Corsair. The ship also has an aging interior design. It just feels dated and less polished than current and more recent offerings. It lacks modern amenities seen in newer ships effectively. The cockpit is another point to mention. Front canopy features struts that block your view, and they're spread pretty aggressively across the entire frame. As a result, some people utterly hate the view of the ship, and that's something that's going to be situational from person to person. If you have any second thoughts about this detail, I would recommend renting one in-game with aUEC and seeing if it's something you can tolerate. And finally, the ship itself has an awkward landing profile as it's front heavy. It essentially just takes some practice to land properly without damaging the front nose, but it is something you will get used to over time. So in summary, the ship has the strongest pilot-controlled weapons on the list, but it's still weaker than the Andromeda in regards to armament. The ship is also ideal for both legal and illegal cargo runs. The Taurus is the best choice for a player wanting to do trading and combat contracts solo. As a final closing note, if you prefer combat emphasis over cargo space and the utility that provides, consider the Constellation Andromeda instead. It includes a second 2 times size 3 hardpoint turret instead of the tractor beam turret, and retains the snub fighter. Next on the list is the Drake Corsair, the gunboat explorer with big ambitions. The Corsair is a powerhouse of exploration and combat, perfect for those who want to travel deep into space while outgunning almost anything in their path. The Corsair is a blend of exploration and combat, with firepower capable of challenging even larger ships. The ship is ultimately for those who want to explore distant systems, take on PvE and PvP contracts, or run high-risk bounty missions. The Corsair includes 72 SU of cargo, provides some trade utility, but it isn't a dedicated hauler. The cargo space will be better utilized for piracy or pulling cargo from any soft death ships you encounter around the verse. The Corsair does have plenty of room to fit an Ursa rover, a rock miner, or pretty much anything under the size of the Ursa. This ship will fit an Ursa medevac, practically allowing you to add a medical bed to this ship that would otherwise not have one. The ship features a spacious, well-designed interior, full crew accommodations, armory, kitchen, and storage. It includes everything you would expect out of a modern hab within Star Citizen. One thing that'll attract people to this ship is its distinctive drake design. It has a unique asymmetrical shape that stands out amongst the crowd. Corsair definitely has the rule of cool going for it. This is easily the most versatile ship on the list, but it does come with a heavy combat emphasis. The Corsair includes 4 times size 5 forward-facing guns split between the pilot and the co-pilot, 2 times manned turrets with dual size 2s for additional firepower for your crew, 1 remote turret with 2 times size 2s, and 8 times size 4 missiles by default, for strong burst damage potential. One feature that allows the Corsair to out-DPS almost everything else in the game is all of its weapons can focus on the pilot's target with relative ease, a rare advantage in ship combat. And finally, the Corsair also has roof access for ground combat. The ship's shields provide cover while engaging enemies from high above the ground, a significant tactical advantage very few ships have in the current game. But the Corsair does have some drawbacks just like everything else. The asymmetrical design leaves the Corsair prone to losing wings and by proxy weaponry along the way, which unfortunately also drives up repair costs when you finally get back to a station. The Corsair is definitely the most costly ship on the list to operate, especially around combat. The ship is also very crew dependent. It requires at least 3 players, but preferably somewhere around 5, to maximize combat potential. And finally, the landing gear can be a problem. The ship's landing gear are just rather short, making landing in rough terrain often a test of patience and more difficult than other ships on this list. In summary, the Corsair has the heaviest firepower on the list, but it needs 3+ players on board to shine. But the Corsair is definitely the best choice for a player who wants to explore and do combat, so long as they have the people to actually support it. And the last ship on this list is the MISC Starlancer Max, soloable heavy hauler. The Starlancer Max is a powerful cargo hauler with serious firepower, perfect for players who want to trade but remain combat ready. MISC built the Starlancer Max for players who need cargo capacity, with the ability to defend it readily with its above-average weaponry. Think of it as a Freelancer Max with better cargo space, durability, and weaponry. The ship is ultimately for small crews of traders and smugglers who need a ship that can haul cargo effectively and protect it with ease. The Starlancer Max includes 224 SU of on-grid cargo storage, expandable with creative loading off-grid. People have been able to approach around 400 SU being creative with the storage. Obviously, this would be off-grid and that introduces additional risks. The ship will also fit a rock miner, an Ursa medevac, or even a medical Pisces. The Starlancer Max is the only ship on the list that can fit the medical Pisces with room to spare. The Starlancer Max, with its drop-down cargo arrangement, easily has the best loading and unloading experience practically any ship in the verse currently. The interior of the ship is also practically set up as a loop with 2 elevators, one at either end, making travel around the interior a breeze. And the ship also includes multiple exits. You can exit either through the ramp at the back, the elevator at the front, or through the airlock on the left side of the ship on the bottom floor. The Starlancer Max also has the best fuel capacity on this list. It'll have no issues traveling around Stanton and Pyro. In regards to combat and defense, the Starlancer Max includes 4 times size 4 pilot-controlled weapons, as well as 2 times manned turrets with dual size 4s. And in regards to missiles, the ship isn't a slouch either, with 16 times size 3 missiles. The ship also has full crew amenities, easily the best on this list. It has an armory, a lounge, and pretty much all the modern accommodations you would expect. The interior of the Starlancer truly feels like a home away from home. Surprisingly, regardless of its size, the Starlancer Max has the best maneuverability on this list. The roll, pitch, and yaw rates of the Starlancer are a significant improvement over the Corsair and the Constellation. But the Starlancer does have some drawbacks. It's the slowest ship on the list by a significant margin, and it can definitely feel sluggish, especially if you have to travel outside of Quantum for extended periods. The worst drawback of this ship, by far, is it has weak ventral defense. The bottom of the ship is practically one giant blind spot. The rear-mounted turret should have been placed down at the bottom, basically to provide additional coverage. No idea why this wasn't done, but that's something I hope maybe in the future gets changed, but as of the moment it looks unlikely. In summary, the Starlancer Max is great for small crews needing cargo space and versatility in day-to-day activities in the verse, but the Starlancer Max is definitely more cargo and less combat. And it's not a ship you really should probably go out picking fights in. It's capable of finishing them, but it's something where given the right circumstances you won't always win. The Starlancer Max is also the best choice for large-scale cargo runs if you need to run solo once in a while. So what's my final verdict? Which one should you choose? For a mix of trade and combat, the RSI Constellation Taurus comes out ahead. This ship is the best for solo players with cargo and combat in mind. The Drake Corsair is for exploration and combat, and is best suited for 3 to 5 member crews with exploration, piracy, and combat contracts in mind. And the MISC Starlancer Max is the daily driver hauler, best for a small crew of 2 to 3 players with large-scale cargo running in mind. But which is your favorite? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Star Citizen content. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.